again, friends. Welcome new subscribers. I'm Brian from Apex Detail. Today we're going to continue on with the cutting compound series. And I was quite hesitant to bring in this next compound into the series for the simple reason the only way we can get it over here is purchasing either through eBay or having somebody in Europe purchase and send it to us. And that bugs me a little bit. I was lucky enough to have a subscriber send me 250 milliliter bottle so I can do the testing, and I'm very grateful, I'm very thankful, and I'm going to honor that and test it. And it's the Koch Chemie H8.02 H4 heavy cut compound. This has been turning into quite a popular demand for me to test it here lately, so we're going to get it done today. We're going to do a couple tests if it gets past this first one, because this first one may not even be fair for it. It is a single stage 1952 Chevy Deluxe, and the paint is 66 years old. So we're going to see what it can do. Let's head out into the shop and get started on this. The Koch Chemie H8.02 is a heavy cut compound. You can get it 250 milliliters or 1,000 milliliters. For how much? I have no idea. It's in pounds. I've seen it on eBay from anywhere from 18 bucks to 52 bucks. So another reason I hesitated to do a video on it, if they don't want it to have it here in the States, then why would I bother giving it airtime on my channel? But like I said, I had a subscriber send it to me, and I love you guys, and I'll honor, what you want to see. So we have a 52, again, Chevy Deluxe. You can see the paint here. It's 66 years old. Actually, for 66 years old, it doesn't look that bad, but it is chipping and cracking at spaces, peeling off. But the the customers and the enthusiasts, I may say, that own these cars, they want the original paint. No overspray, no tape marks. They want the original paint restored as best as possible, and that's why they send them to me. I get them from up and down the East Coast. This one here from Virginia. So we're going to take a crack at this car with the Koch Chemie H8 that was sent to me. So we're going to use the rotary. Like most of the other German-made compounds and polishes, they had the rotary in mind when they formulated these, and although they do work with the rotary to complement the chemists, they do work well with the DA as well. So when I apply the compound to a panel and I put it on thin, that is to avoid sling, I will also season the pad a bit, but I'm not going to load up that pad and sling that compound all over the place to get in all the cracks and crevices. I'm going to team up two rotaries to do the cutting on this 52 Chevy. The first one I'm using here is a full-size Drill Master. This is a Harbor Freight rotary. It's rather heavy, but this thing has been a workhorse for years. It's a great buy. It's earned its money back probably 100 times over by now. You can see the transfer from the single stage. We're going to have a lot of that. I have a lot of pads standing by for both rotaries, and I'll bring you in close so you get an idea of how it cuts. We're definitely going to have to follow up with some type of polishing after this, because the wool pad, of course, gives a little bit of marring, a little bit of hazing sometimes, especially if this single stage here is soft. It's not. It's rather hard from being aged like a fine wine for 66 years. Okay, the first thing I noticed, and it's really hot and humid, but you can work the compound pretty much as long as you want to. Has a nice long cycle time to it. Wiping off the residue, no problem whatsoever. You'll see a little bit of transfer. The residue is mixed in with some of that dead paint, but just an absolute huge difference, and it's going to be a nice turnaround. You'll notice it finishes down rather far for a heavy cut compound. And because this single stage here is hard and aged, you won't see many swirl marks, holograms, or hazing to deal with. We will just have to go over it with a fine polish. No dusting whatsoever, and that was through the whole correction process, and it didn't matter what pad or tool I used. This 1952 was the last year for the Deluxe. It was part of a volume of sales, production made from 1941 through 1952, and it led in sales through that period. Assembly plants for the make and model were in California, New York, and Michigan. Came in 2-door and 4-door and was normally powered by a 216 cubic inch 3.5 liter with a 3-speed manual transmission power glide on the column. So another word for that would be 3 on the tree. GM along with Ford started to phase out the single stage acrylic enamels in the mid 80s, with some of the Ford trucks the last to have it in 87. I'm going to hit those harder to reach areas and those curvy areas with the little Flex PE8 compact rotary, mini rotary. Now this thing has 450 watts of power for this little unit and can bear the brunt of a full correction with a 4 or 5 inch backing plate. Not made for it. It will heat up in your hands, but it will get it done as well. It's meant for a 1, 2, and 3 inch backing plate, and does well with the extensions. Smooth, light, quiet, and I absolutely enjoy using it, and I pull it out as often as I can. Okay, so in no time at all, we have this rather large, curvy fender cut, ready to be polished, and we can move on. And I'm enjoying the sharp turnaround so much, I went ahead and cut the whole front clip. Keep in mind, this paint is not meant to be brought back into 100% mint condition. It's only meant for enhancement to get the most out of what we have here. Although we do have a thick layer of the paint still remaining after all these years, I want to take off as little as possible. So I'm only going to do 2 stages using the cutting stage here and following up with some ultra fine polishing. This door here is the second of 3 spots that are just the worst on the vehicle, and we're going to test on. So again, I'm going to use the rotary. I'll pull the Harbor Freight rotary back out again, and we have the 6-inch backing plate with a Ardex wool pad, and we're going to get this cutting done. Okay, that's going to do it for this little test area here. Wiping off the residue. Again, user-friendly. It's quick to remove, easy, no effort whatsoever. Grab your favorite panel prep in between steps, but this is a what you see is what you get compound. No oils, no wax, no fillers. And one final area on the vehicle, The worst of it, by the way, that we can test this compound, a lot of swirls, scratches, oxidation, chips, cracks, you name it. We're going to mask off a small area. I'm going to bring out the PE8 compact one more time. We'll attach a foam pad to it, and we'll get to work. Okay, that's going to do it. Let me take off the residue here. We'll remove the tape. And again, it's just obvious you're going to see a huge turnaround. This compound here is the real deal. We're going to grab a vehicle with clear coat that needs to be corrected for the next test for this compound. If it impresses from there, we'll pull out the test panel, we'll test it, and we'll see if it stands up there with Sonax, Angel Wax Resurrection, and all the other top quality compounds. Alright, so the job's complete. We have some protection from Polish Angel, Glass Coat, Cosmic V1, but the foundation of the correction is done with the Koch Chemie H8 heavy cut compound. Now, whoever makes this can stop being silly and make it more available here in the States. It seems like a decent product line. By the way, the customer has not seen this car yet. If you think he's going to have a smile on his face when he sees it, just simply type yes down in the comments section. Okay guys, so as you can see there, very impressive out of the gate. No dusting whatsoever throughout the whole process. Throughout the correction, it was extremely hot and humid. The compound was a pleasure to work with, easy to work with. Residue was easy to wipe off, had decent cut. The cycle time was very impressive in the heat. So we're going to take it off the single stage. We're going to find a nice clear coat to correct. If it impresses there, I'll pull out that test panel. We're going to test it, and we're going to see if it gives Sonax a run for its money. So if you have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate. Brian from Apex Detail. Catch you in the next video.